Part 116. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1151. In that case, I don't know where this guy comes from. Are you interested in learning from him? Mr. Chen touched his beard, with amusement in his eyes. I have practiced for so many years, and I have achieved some success. I just want to accept a talented disciple. Hearing this, Bai Lingren couldn't help but be stunned, and then looked at Xiao Xian, who was practicing with envy. To know. With the strength of the Golden God realm and his exquisite understanding of the Dao, Mr. Chen has become very popular in the White Flame Valley. I don't know how many disciples of the White Flame Valley wanted to learn from his master, but they were all rejected by the latter. Even old man Bai Yan said that Mr. Chen's real strength is no less than him. Now, Mr. Chen would actually take the initiative to recruit disciples? He even wanted to find Xiao Xian by name. This also proves in disguise how amazing Xiao Xian's talent is. It's so enviable. You, old man, have been in our White Flame Valley for such a long time. There are many disciples in our White Flame Valley who want to become your disciples, but you have refused. Bai Ling couldn't help but said, I didn't expect that you actually fell in love with Xiao Xian. This, if those disciples knew about this, wouldn't they be jealous to death? Hear this. There was also a hint of embarrassment on Mr. Chen's face, speaking of which, you disciples of Bian Valley, except for you and that stinky-faced Bai Feng, your talents seem to be average. Bai Ling rolled his eyes wide and said, What? My master is sect leader Bai. If you want to accept me as your disciple, I'm afraid it's impossible, so don't think too much about it. For these words, Mr. Chen also shook his head slightly and continued, Forget it, anyway, I am usually too lazy to teach my disciples, so it is better to just be an idle cloud and wild crane. Don't worry about so many things. After saying that, he took a square step and left. Seeing his appearance, Bai Ling also had a bit of curiosity on her face. From the training situation of Mr. Chen in the White Flame Tower, she could tell that Mr. Chen's strength was definitely not just at the Golden God level. But what kind of strength he has is not something Bai Ling can see now. Simply, Bai Ling shook his head and focused on Xiao Xian. Now she really wanted to see it. How long can Xiao Xian stay on the 4th floor of the White Flame Tower? If he can really stay for such a long time, maybe Xiao Xian can take a further step in the realm. This had to arouse her curiosity. What you need to know is that because of the existence of the White Flame Tower, the disciples of the White Flame Valley generally practice much faster than ordinary sects. But even so, there are still very few disciples in the entire White Flame sect who have reached the Golden God realm. Xiao Xian has such a high talent. With the help of the White Flame Tower, maybe he can really improve his level with this method. Time passed by minute. Bai Ling has been staying in the White Flame Tower, and she can vaguely feel that as Xiao Xian's training time increases, the aura on his body is getting stronger and stronger. There is even a feeling that he is no less than her. This really surprised her. You know, when Xiao Xian first entered the White Flame Valley, or even just entered the White Flame Giant Tower, his realm was only 5 stars in the Blue God realm. But in just a few short hours, Xiao Xian's strength has almost reached the peak of the Kang God realm. This kind of cultivation speed can be described as heaven-defying. As expected of a talented disciple who was favored by Mr. Chen and Master. This talent is unique, not to mention in the White Flame Valley, even in the entire eastern part of Nanzan Haizu. Bai Ling couldn't help but said. The white flames in the White Flame Giant Tower are extremely intense. Even though Xiao Xian had a strong physique, after a while, the strength of his soul and body was exhausted. It seems we have reached our limit. That is to say, his voice was not loud when he said this. Congratulations, Mr. Xiao Xian. Yes, I did say a few words to him at that time, but I can't say whether I liked him or not. Xiao Xian clearly felt that the power of the great Dao in his body had been strengthened several times, and he had vaguely reached the 6th level of the Blue God realm. If he stayed here for too long, it might damage his body. Although Xiao Xian's current level has improved a bit, his mood is not as good as she imagined. After all, 4 ordinary disciples. From Lord Yuling to Old Man Bian, now there is an inexplicable Old Man Chen? To be honest, aren't the standards for recruiting disciples for strong men like them a bit too casual? The White Flame Tower is indeed worthy of its reputation. Xiao Xian also nodded and replied politely. However, what Bai Ling didn't know was Xiao Xian was also a little helpless. Speaking of which, since he came to Nanzan Haizhu, there have been many people who wanted to accept him as a disciple. Even if they show some talent and strength, they won't be able to accept disciples so easily. Oh, it turns out it's him. He is an old man with a white beard. His strength is at the level of the Golden God. He should have been sitting on the 5th floor of the building at that time. You should have noticed him, Bai Ling couldn't help but ask. Why, do they like to have disciples so much? Is it just 1 star added? Seeing Xiao Xian come out, Bai Ling also smiled and stepped forward. Mr. Chen, Xiao Xian didn't respond. Xiao Xian opened his eyes and murmured to himself. He also knows that practicing a skill is all about gradual progress. With his 5-star strength in the Kengshen realm, it is already considered a very remarkable thing for him to enter the 4th floor of the White Flame Tower. I really didn't expect this. Walk down from the 4th floor of the building. Xiao Xian said casually. After feeling the change in the power of the great Dao in his body, Xiao Xian couldn't help but shake his head. I originally thought that relying on the 4th floor of the White Flame Tower could raise the realm to the peak of the Kang God realm. It seems, I still miscalculated. I heard that you were favored by Mr. Chen when you were in the White Flame Tower, right? Bai Ling inquired. I just said a few more words. After all, Xiao Xian has not been in contact with them for a long time. Xiao Xian couldn't help but smile bitterly. He didn't let more people hear it, otherwise, I'm afraid he would immediately become the target of the disciples' criticism. Hearing Xiao Xian's nonchalant tone, Bai Ling was a little bit dumbfounded and could only say, I have to say, you are really different. Do you know that this Mr. Chen wants to accept you as his disciple? I didn't expect that after just a few hours of practice, you could actually break through your original realm. How about it? My White Flame Tower in White Flame Valley still has some effects. Isn't this just a joke? Accept me as your disciple. Even going from 5 stars in the Blue God realm to 6 stars in the Blue God realm is an extremely difficult thing, let alone going from 5 stars in the Blue God realm to the peak of the Blue God realm all at once. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1152. It's not simple yet. They want to accept you as their disciple, and their purpose is just to use your talent to enter Zhongzhou in Nanzan Haizhu. Bai Ling smiled and said, my master is like this, and Mr. Chen's purpose is probably the same. Hearing this, Xiao Xian was a little surprised. For so long, he has also heard from various people's mouths about the legend about the central part of Nanzan Haizhu. It is said that there are real strong people like clouds and masters everywhere. If a sect like the Spirit Snake Alliance were placed in the middle of Nanzan Haizhu, it wouldn't even count. Of course, Xiao Xian does not rule out that such words are exaggerated. But it also proves from the side that the strength of the sects in the central part of Nanzan Haizhu is much stronger than that in other areas. Speaking of which, Xiao Xian has also been curious about such a place. Perhaps after arriving in the central part, his strength will improve faster. But he didn't expect it. Bai Ling actually said that old man Bai Yan and that old man Chen wanted to accept him as their disciple, in order to use his talent to enter the central part. What does it mean? What does it mean? Does it mean that if I become their apprentice, I can take them to the central part of the country? Xiao Xian didn't quite understand. Ordinarily, if you want to go to the central area of Nanzan Haizhu, you should have excellent strength. Regardless of whether it is Old Man Bai Yan or Old Chen, their strength is not weak. With the strength of the Golden God realm or even the Dragon God realm, they should have some confidence to go to Zhongzhou, right? Why still accept disciples? You don't know something. For example, our cultivators in the area around Nanzan Haizhu, even if they have the strength of the Dragon God realm, may not be able to enter Zhongzhou smoothly. Bai Ling shook his head. If you want to enter Zhongzhou, there is only one way. Either you are an extremely talented practitioner, or your apprentice is an extremely talented practitioner. Choose one of the two. Why? Is Zhongzhou so mysterious? A strong man in the Dragon God realm can almost turn the clouds and rain in an area, and he is almost invincible. Could it be said that all the Zhongzhou in Nanzan Haizhu are strong in the Dragon God realm? This is impossible, right? Xiao Xian didn't quite understand. In his impression, strength should be respected in this world. As long as you have strength, you will be respected no matter where you come from. But now it seems that this is not the case. In the surrounding areas of Nanzan Haizhu, if you want to enter Zhongzhou, do you still need to bring talented disciples with you? So is it possible that all cultivators in Zhongzhou have better talents than outsiders? This is also a helpless thing. Strictly speaking, the entire Nanzan Haizhu can be divided into two regions, or two strata, the middle and the outer. The central part of Nanzan Haizhu has richer resources and blessed lands than the outside, and the number of cultivators is smaller. From this point of view, most cultivators hope to enter Zhongzhou. Bai Ling shook his head and said, unfortunately, the practitioners in Zhongzhou have set a very high threshold for entry. Generally, it is impossible for outside practitioners to enter. Hear this introduction. Xiao Xian really didn't expect it. Speak of it. Speaking of which, no one in the outer regions obeys anyone, and there are constant battles between each other. Not to mention other things, there are frequent battles between the three sects in the east of Nanzan Haizhu. What kind of cooperation? So, in the Great Dao realm, is there anything beyond the Dragon God realm? Master Xiao Xian, do you have any thoughts about entering Zhongzhou? As long as you have enough strength, no matter where you come from, you will be respected. Where is this situation, and the Zhongzhou region actually discriminates against outside regions? Could it be that only those with incredible physical talent like Xiao Xian are qualified to enter Zhongzhou? So this condition is really a bit harsh. Xiao Xian was also a little embarrassed. This is simply unbelievable. It's a pity that my senior brother and I are not qualified to enter Zhongzhou because of our poor talents. Bai Ling looked helpless. Even an arrogant sect master like Snake Wanlong has not really appeared on the battlefield so far. Instead, a half-dabbled dragon god like Snake Ching Snake Ao appears, which has to arouse his curiosity. On the contrary, these people continued to practice with great concentration. Before, he had also stayed in both Tianyuan continent and Primordial continent, but no matter which continent he was in, he respected the strong regardless of his origin. To be precise, what you said is almost the same as what my master said. Well, your talents should be quite good, right? Bai Feng and Bai Ling have reached the peak of the Blue God realm at a young age. With such talents, they are considered the best in the White Flame Valley and even in the Spirit Snake League. Bai Ling asked suddenly with a smile. Bai Ling sighed. More importantly, it is said that in the Zhongzhou of Nanzan Haizhu, there are strong men who have surpassed the level of Dragon God. With such a person in charge, the outsiders of Nanzan Haizhu dare not attack Zhongzhou. Issue a challenge. Bai Ling agreed with his face and continued, this is also what Master said most after entering the Dragon God realm. he realized that there should be a higher realm after reaching this realm, so he always wanted to go to Zhongzhou to explore. It's just a pity. Xiao Xian couldn't help but take a breath of air. Although there is still a bit of a gap compared to a heaven-defying talent like Xiao Xian. Since there is a divine realm in the divine soul realm. Xiao Xian could only think of such a reason, and simply shook his head and said, in that case, maybe there really is a higher realm above the dragon god realm. But it's still pretty good. Could it be that such a talent doesn't even qualify him to enter Zhongzhou? Could it be that you, the strong men from the outer regions, can just watch those cultivators who are not as strong as you occupy so many cultivation resources? Xiao Xian couldn't help but asked in confusion, what if you, the strong men from the outer regions, unite together? Get up, even Zhongzhou won't be able to resist it, right? That's true. In other words, on weekdays, there is not even a hint of mountains or water inside. What's a pity? Xiao Xian asked. Think about it. Although strong people in the dragon god realm can dominate a party, as powerful overlords, but from what Xiao Xian saw, those strong people did not do much to dominate a party after achieving the dragon god realm. Having said that, could it be that after reaching the dragon god realm, they discovered a larger and broader world and became more low-key? In fact, after his soul realm transcended reality and reached the divine realm, he had a problem. Talk about it? After hearing this, you are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1153. Zhongzhou. Xiao Xian's eyes flashed a bit solemnly. Since he came to Daodao continent, in addition to seizing time to improve his strength every day, he has been exploring the origin secrets of this continent. There is no doubt that the closer you are to the center of the continent, the closer you can get to the origin of this continent. Compared with the East Wasteland giant continent, the cultivators on Nanzan Highs who are stronger, and the higher the possibility of finding the origin of the continent. And now, since he has learned that there will be more powerful people in the middle of Nanzan Highs who, it also proves that there may be closer to the origin of this avenue continent. Perhaps, he really wants to prepare to go to this so-called Nanzan Highs who. We are looking at the middle part of Highs Hu Island. Maybe I'm really interested, Xiao Xian said seriously. I was just joking. Do you really want to go to the central region? Seeing Xiao Xian actually nodding, Bai Ling was stunned. Certainly. Listening to how well you described the central region just now, how could I not be interested? Xiao Xian smiled and said, I believe you should also be interested in these, right? Say it. Bai Ling's eyes also lit up, but then dimmed. She knows her talent better than anyone else. According to the normal cultivation process, she may be extremely lucky to be able to break through to the Golden God realm. The higher Dragon God realm is a realm that is difficult for her to reach. Now, after hearing Xiao Xian's words, her face became more serious, and then she continued to ask, do you think that with my talent, I can enter Zhongzhou? Why not? Xiao Xian replied without thinking, in this world, nothing is impossible. Since others can do it, why can't you? But Bai Ling was a little hesitant. It's nothing, I believe in you, you will definitely be able to break through the Dragon God realm, and even become a realm stronger than the Dragon God realm, Xiao Xian said directly, only with hope can you succeed, isn't it? You are right. Bai Ling just hesitated for a moment, then understood it instantly, nodded directly, and said, yes, you are right. If others can do it, I can also do it. Xiao Xian looked up. When he saw the determination in Bai Ling's eyes, he also smiled. He knew that his persuasion had an effect. After this conversation, Bai Ling looked at Xiao Xian with admiration. Before, she just thought that Xiao Xian was just a cultivator with some talent, nothing more. But now, she doesn't think so at all. She could see that Xiao Xian not only had a high talent for cultivation, but he was also a good person with good intentions and a kind heart. Such people are rare in the eastern part of Nanzan Haizhu. In comparison, her senior brother Bai Feng is much worse. Not only is his talent not as good as Xiao Xian's, but his character is not even the slightest bit worse. For such people, Bai Ling didn't have any good impressions. However, when Cao is said to have arrived, Cao arrives. When Xiao Xian and Bai Ling walked out of the White Flame Tower and were about to walk out, they saw a person standing not far from them. It was Bai Feng. Seeing this guy, Xiao Xian looked a little wary. He knew that since he came to Bian Valley, this Bai Feng didn't like him very much. At first he thought, just because he and Bai Ling were close, Bai Feng felt jealous and envious. It should be a kind of angry hatred between enemies. But soon, he discovered that was not the case. Bai Feng has proposed cooperation between Baiyan Valley and the Spirit Snake Alliance more than once on top of Baiyan Valley's alliance decision. This also indirectly shows that Bai Feng must have some ambiguities with the Spirit Snake Alliance behind his back. Things. What Xiao Xian didn't understand was, if a disciple like Bai Feng was placed in the Yuling sect, he would have been kicked out long ago. How could he still be such a peaceful disciple of the old man Bai Yan? Ling Er. You are indeed the most talented disciple in our White Flame Valley. You actually went to the White Flame Tower to practice again. How about it? Now your soul power should reach the little golden god realm soon, right? Bai Feng said with a smile. Senior brother, you are overly praised. Don't you still know my realm? It's just the peak of the blue god realm, Bai Ling said lukewarmly. Oh. Of course your realm senior brother knows it well. Bai Feng had a doting smile on his face. It's just that it's been so long, I think you've almost reached the little golden god realm, and you're the same as your senior brother and me. This was said in front of many people. After hearing this, some disciples from Bian Valley couldn't help but take another look at Bai Feng's face, and heard some hint of showing off from it. Actually, let's talk about it. The little golden god realm in Bian Valley is nothing. Many of the elders in Bian Valley have already reached this realm. Bai Feng is also among the young disciples, and he still has some strength. Good. It is true that I am still a little behind you, senior brother. But senior brother came to me today just to laugh at my state, then your purpose has been achieved. Bai Ling was a little impatient. Of course not. Bai Feng looked a little embarrassed and said quickly, senior brother came to you today to talk about something, about the Zhongzhou Youth Conference. After saying this, not only Bai Ling, but also the Bian Valley disciple next to him looked interested. Central State Youth Conference. This is the annual campaign meeting prepared by the sects in the central region of Nanzan Haizhu. All young sect disciples in the entire Nanzan Haizhu can participate, with the purpose of competing for the reputation of being a talent. These young disciples. As long as you show your prominence at the youth conference, you will immediately be favored by Zhongzhou sects and have the opportunity to join these Zhongzhou sects. This is an extremely important matter for all the external areas of Nanzan Haizhu. As the most important sect in the eastern part of Nanzan Haizhu, Bian Valley will naturally not miss this opportunity. This year's youth conference seems to be earlier than usual, Bai Ling suddenly asked. Good. Junior sister is right. The reason is actually very simple. The main reason is that this year's youth conference has recruited more disciples. Bai Feng said proudly, how about recruiting 100 disciples? Junior sister, are you confident? Say it. Xiao Xian was stunned. 100 people? All the external sects in Nanzan Haizhu only recruit 100 people? Is this a little too little? Why is Bai Feng still talking too much? Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1154. 100 people. If this is true, the number of disciples recruited this year will indeed be much more than in previous years. Bai Ling nodded. Seemingly seeing Bai Ling's expression softening slightly, Bai Feng shamelessly approached him and said with a smile. Junior sister, Master said that you and I can participate in this year's youth conference. When the time comes, we will help each other. If we are all selected and join the Zhongzhou section. Senior brother, is this a bit too far? Bai Feng was having a sweet dream, but was interrupted ruthlessly by Bai Ling. Even if the young disciples of the outer sects of Nanzan who are not as strong as those of Zhongzhou, they cannot be underestimated casually. 100 people is a lot, but it's also difficult to become the best among them. Hear this. Bai Feng's face was also a little embarrassed. He actually also knew that on Nanzan some disciples were indeed stronger than him. It is said that among the external sects, some young disciples have broken through to the little golden god realm, and their realm is infinitely close to the golden god realm. Only such disciples can be called the true pride of heaven. Is this? Actually, it's not as serious as you think, junior sister. The strength of those disciples is indeed good, and can even be said to be very powerful, but so what? I am also a strong person in the little golden god realm. It is better than some people who rely on some crooked ways to curry favor with the master. My own strength is only a mere Kengshen. 5-star level. Bai Feng deflated in Bai Ling's mouth. However, when he saw Xiaoxian was also around, he naturally started to attack Xiaoxian, hoping to regain some face from Xiaoxian. Senior brother Bai Feng. Have you forgotten what Master said? Young Master Xiaoxian is our guest at White Flame Valley. When you say this, do you mean you don't care about Master's words? Bai Ling's face looked a little ugly. Hearing Bai Ling defend Xiaoxian, Bai Feng felt awkward in his heart. In fact, when Xiaoxian was treating old man Bai Yan, he had already hated Xiaoxian in his heart. Junior sister, what you said is wrong. It seems that I have never said anything bad about Xiaoxian from beginning to end, right? I'm just reminding some people that those who are only 5 stars in the Kengshen realm shouldn't worry about the youth conference. Bai Feng said contemptuously. Everyone said, right. Because of his status, there are always some followers around Bai Feng. When he heard his words at this time, there were also many people who supported him. Yeah. With the strength of a 5-star blue god realm, it is true that it cannot even reach the threshold of the youth conference. With such strength, even if you participate in other people's youth conferences, it will probably have no effect in it. It's better not to participate. We only have so many places in Bian Valley. If we give him one more for Xiaoxian, wouldn't it be too cheap for him? Hear these words. Xiaoxian also sneered. In fact, he could roughly know that most of the disciples who followed Bai Feng were the latter's close friends. These words cannot represent all the disciples of Bian Valley today. In any case, he got some useful information from Bai Feng's mouth, so he didn't want to waste too much time on Bai Feng. Let's go, Xiaoxian said to Bai Ling casually. Okay, it just so happens that I am also somewhat interested in this fighting beast. See you at the 10,000 Beasts Tower. Then it will be of great help to him to improve his combat effectiveness. This time, Bai Feng was so angry that he almost vomited blood. He came to Bai Ling specifically to talk about the 10,000 Beast Tower. His purpose was of course not just for the beast's soul. Xiaoxian was very happy. But who knew, in the end, he would be the one who was embarrassed, which really made his face a little ugly. Not to mention being rejected by Bai Ling on the spot, she also specifically found Xiaoxian? Isn't this equivalent to slapping him in the face? Naturally, he couldn't bear the situation, and he wished he could fall out with Bai Ling right now. Next to Bai Feng, a Bian Valley disciple said with a sinister smile, "Think about it, this Xiao Xian is actually just an ordinary person. If you can seize this opportunity and make him embarrassed, senior sister Bai Ling will definitely know him. Come on, he, Xiao Xian, will definitely not be as good as you, senior brother." "Senior brother Bai Feng, please don't be angry yet. Yes, what you said does make some sense. Say it. This stinky woman, if it weren't for the fact that you still have some beauty, I would definitely." Bai Feng gritted his teeth. "I think this is not a good opportunity. Not bloody. I heard that the beast trainers from Zilong Hes who came this time. They brought some high-level beast souls. I heard that even the elders of the Spirit Snake Alliance came. Don't you want to prepare some beast souls? Improve your strength. Prepare for the youth conference. Junior sister, I heard that there is a beast fighting show tonight at the 10,000 Beasts building. Are you interested? We can go buy some beast souls to play together." After saying that, Bai Ling took Xiao Xian and left directly. It would be better to think of ways to improve the level of the serious sword first. After all, as far as his current situation is concerned, relying on the White Flame Tower can indeed improve his realm a lot in a short period of time, but it is a bit difficult to reach the peak of the Blue God realm, or even the Little Golden God realm. "I just want to get closer to Bai Ling." Bai Feng still refused to give up and stopped in front of Xiao Xian and Bai Ling. Bai Feng said, "If you can raise your realm to the Little Golden God realm before the youth conference, then you will be very confident." "Oh." Hearing Xiao Xian's promise, Bai Ling nodded directly, "Senior brother, we won't go with you. Improving strength is indeed a very important thing." Bai Feng narrowed his eyes, and after thinking for a moment, he nodded and said, "If this is really the case, I don't think Xiao Xian will have the dignity to stay in our Bian Valley in the future. Okay, let's go together." Okay, Bai Ling originally wanted to say something to help Xiao Xian, but seeing that Xiao Xian didn't care, he nodded. This is definitely a great benefit to improving his combat effectiveness. Wait. Bai Ling's eyes moved. Not interested. Bai Ling shook his head. "Brother, don't you know that I don't like these bloody things?" In normal times, she might have taken it step by step and slowly improved her strength, but now that it involves the upcoming youth conference, she can't help but feel a little anxious. If he wants to advance his heavenly wolf sword, the quickest way is to swallow beast souls, and also to swallow high-level beast souls. If you can find high-level beast souls in a short time. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1155. I heard that senior brother Bai, you are also friends with Lin Mang from 10,000 Beasts Tower. This time, Lin Mang was the talker at the beast fighting conference. With Lin Mang's cooperation, wouldn't Xiao Xian be able to be manipulated casually? When the disciple just now saw Bai Feng smiling, he struck while the iron was hot and continued, "When the time comes, I think senior sister Bai Ling will definitely change her mind." For Bai Feng. That's what he wanted to hear most. For such a long time, he had been thinking about his junior sister Bai Ling, but unfortunately Bai Ling was always lukewarm towards him, which made him very upset. Recently it was due to the arrival of Xiao Xian. Bai Ling's attitude towards him became more and more indifferent, so he became a little anxious, and then he came up with the matter of 10,000 Beast Tower. Only now, after hearing the words of the two senior brothers around him, he felt more confident and said directly, "You two are right. With Lin Mang's help, I will definitely embarrass Xiao Xian." Leave Bai Feng. Bai Ling and Xiao Xian walked together to a stone table in the garden. Bai Ling was indeed a little curious and confused about Xiao Xian's promise to fight the beast just now. Based on her understanding of Xiao Xian, the latter doesn't seem to be the kind of practitioner who likes fighting beasts and pets. So, Why did this guy agree to Bai Feng's suggestion? You. What on earth do you think? In my impression, you don't seem like someone who likes fighting beasts. Bai Ling couldn't help but feel a little worried and said, did you know that fighting beasts is a very learned thing? Hear Bai Ling's words. Xiao Xian just nodded and said, I've heard some, but I'm not specifically going to fight beasts. Didn't Bai Feng say that there seems to be high-level beast souls in the 10,000 beast building? This doesn't mean anything to me. Which is a good thing. For these high-level beast souls, it's actually not that simple, Bai Ling said. Ah, Xiao Xian was stunned. Of course it's not that simple. You may not know the rules of the 10,000 beast tower. They stipulate that all participants can obtain the beast soul, but the prerequisite is that the monster you bring there must win and be killed by your monster. Only then will the beast soul belong to you. Bai Ling explained, for someone like you who has never been exposed to beast fighting, how can you get a chance to get a high-level beast soul by participating in a beast fighting for the first time? Say it. Xiao Xian generally understood it. After a long time of fussing, if you want to get these high-level beast souls, do you still need to get something unusual? He didn't lie to Bai Ling. Until now, he really didn't know much about these fighting beasts, but when he was on the ancient continent, he had dealt with those monster beast races a lot, and he still had some understanding of them. Exactly. Not a little bit of understanding, but a lot of understanding. After all, he had in-depth exchanges with ancient races such as the Dragon Clan, Phoenix Clan, and Kylan Clan. He has an understanding of their habits and bloodline. And after coming to the Dao continent, he got Xiao Lu, a mythical beast from the ancient Phoenix tribe. He could know that some ancient races did not seem so scary, and sometimes, they could still be traded or cooperated with. What are you going to do? Speaking of which, this was the first time he heard about something like a youth conference. At that time, Bai Feng only said a few words hastily, and he didn't listen very carefully. Now he was really curious about what the benefits of this youth conference were. If that's the case, then I really have to think about it carefully and see how I can naturally become a disciple of Zhongzhou. Seeing that Xiao Xian didn't speak for a long time, Bai Ling continued, if you really want to participate, I can help you prepare some monster beasts with decent strength. How about that? The strength of Zhongzhou is obviously stronger than that of outside areas. Perhaps, cultivators who go to Zhongzhou to practice can make faster progress. On that note, Xiao Xian couldn't help but gasped. Did you know that in previous years' youth conferences, the top few geniuses will become the key disciples of major sections, although there are some who will die in infancy? Once they become talented disciples, they will definitely be strong ones. Moreover, listening to Xiao Xian's intention, he also held the idea of participating more. In this case, let's forget it. She originally thought that if Xiao Xian was interested in participating in the 10,000 beasts competition, she could also find Old Man Bian to see if there were any suitable monsters in the Bian Valley, so that Xiao Xian would not be defeated too miserably. But everything has two sides. Judging from the situation. Hearing this, Bai Ling was speechless for a moment. Xiao Xian also became somewhat interested. You must know that there are more than 1 million young disciples in the entire outer area of Nanzan Hai's who, and the best among them are also extremely powerful. Of course. Perhaps, even if outside cultivators enter Zhongzhou, life will not be so easy. Look what you mean, do you really want to participate in the beast fighting conference? Seeing Xiao Xian's appearance, Bai Ling couldn't laugh or cry either. Hearing Bai Ling's words. Not to mention anything else, with Xiao Xuankang's 6-star strength in the divine realm, it is already very difficult for him to stand firm. No wonder those disciples are flocking to Zhongzhou. When the time comes, just go through the motions with him and forget it. How difficult it is to stand out among these geniuses. Of course I'm participating. More opportunities often mean more dangers. It is impossible for the young cultivators in Zhengzhou to watch outsiders compete for the cultivation resources that originally belonged to them. How could he be qualified to be the proud man of heaven? Who knew that Xiao Xian refused directly? Just the dragon god realm. But now, after some young practitioners have entered the major sects of Zhengzhou, how can they become powerful in the dragon god realm so easily? Xiao Xian smiled slightly. Amazing. Bai Ling said with envy, when you get to that point, you can be a strong person in the dragon god realm. Is this a bit too exaggerated? When he first came to Dao Dao continent, he knew that cultivators in the dragon god realm were already giant masters, almost transcendent beings and saints. Thinking of this, Bai Ling didn't say much, just shook his head and continued, then I will go to the guest room to find you later, and let you take a look at the 10,000 Beasts Tower. Maybe you will meet some of us from the youth conference in there. Opponent. Xiao Xian smiled and said, since you can participate in such a competition of 10,000 beasts, it is a good opportunity, but, monster beasts, you don't need to prepare. I will see if I can find one on the spot. Anyway, the main thing is to participate. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1156. How? Looking at you, you don't seem to trust me very much, do you? After seeing Bai Ling's appearance, Xiao Xian smiled instead and said, believe it or not, I will definitely be the first in the 10,000 Beasts conference this time. Just you. I do not believe. Regarding Xiao Xian's words, Bai Ling directly denied it without blinking. In her opinion, this was simply impossible. This time the conference of beasts. Although she didn't know much, she knew some inside information. As the organizer of the 10,000 Beasts conference, the 10,000 Beasts Tower is the sect with the largest number of participating members. Basically, they will send the most powerful beast trainers to every convention to seize the leader of the 10,000 Beasts conference. As for other sects, they are just a foil. However, 10,000 Beast Tower will not let other sects come to show off for nothing. Basically, they will also give out some gifts as rewards for these sects. Therefore, many sects are still willing to participate in such a conference. Just like this time, although Bai Yang also got an invitation, I'm afraid even Bai Feng himself never thought that he would get the leader of the 10,000 Beasts conference. Outside the 10,000 Beasts Tower, Bai Feng and several Bian Valley disciples were waiting at the door, quietly waiting for the call from Lin Mang, the young master of the 10,000 Beast Tower. Speaking of which, Bai Feng can be regarded as a leader among the young disciples of Bian Valley. He is regarded as the hope of the younger generation in Bian Valley. However, facing Lin Mang from the 10,000 Beasts Tower, he still has a lot of fears in his heart. It is said that Lin Mang, the 10,000 Beast Tower, comes from Hezhu, Zilong. He has the blood of demon beasts from Zilong Hezhu flowing in his body. He is very familiar with the habits of demon beasts, and he is also the most powerful beast trainer in the eastern part of Nanzan Hezhu. Not only that, Lin Mang is also an outer sect cultivator. Relying on the power of the outer sect, he has unexpectedly raised his level to the peak of the Blue God realm. Although just from a realm perspective, Bai Feng was even stronger than Lin Mang, but when it came to a head-to-head fight, there was really nothing he could do against Lin Mang, who was thick-skinned and thick-skinned. What's more, now that Bai Feng and the others are on the territory of 10,000 Beasts Tower, they are naturally more cautious in their actions and words, for fear of provoking the wrong people. Mr. Bai Feng, Master Lin is now available. Not long after, an old man in black clothes came over and said to Bai Feng, you can go in now, but, Master Lin's time is precious, and you only have one stick of incense. Enough is enough. One stick of incense is enough time. Bai Feng hurriedly bowed and nodded, then walked into the attic of Wanchao building with a smile. As soon as he entered the door, he saw a muscular man with a dark complexion, lying on his side on a tiger leather seat. The strong man wore a leopard skin vest on his upper body, red trousers on his lower body, and black boots on his feet. The whole person exudes a unique ferocious aura. This kind of temperament can usually only be felt in monsters. Bai Feng did not dare to be negligent. He stepped forward politely, and said with a smile, "I'm Bai Feng of Bian Valley, and I'd like to pay my respects to Master Lin." "Bai Feng? What's the matter with you?" Lin Mang asked directly. Well, isn't tonight the 10,000 Beasts conference organized by the 10,000 Beasts Tower? Our Bian Valley will also send people to participate. This is a small gift. Please don't laugh." Master Lin Bai Feng waved his hand, and a white Yang disciples presented the gifts. "Master Bai, thank you for your trouble." Lin Mang was obviously a little impatient with Bai Feng's arrival, but after seeing the gift, he still squeezed out a smile on his face and continued, "If anything happens, Mr. Bai just said it doesn't matter. Could it be that he wants to be with all the beasts in this world, get a good place in the conference? Yes. I have never heard of this young sect master. There are some famous young figures in the eastern part of Nanzan who recently. Is this Xiao Xian so scary? Can he be famous at a youth conference? Isn't this just teasing him?" Looking at the person in front of him, Bai Feng still had a smile on his face and said directly, "If Master Lin is willing, it would be great if Xiao Xian could be killed directly. I will also give you a big gift by then." No, this Xiao Xian is definitely not from our Bian Valley," Bai Feng explained quickly. "So arrogant? Are you also from Bian Valley?" "Yes, this guy may be our biggest enemy in the youth conference. If we can die quietly in this 10,000 Beasts conference, it will definitely be a good thing for us," Bai Fengjian said. After saying this, Bai Feng felt a lot more relaxed. According to the rules, the first to fifth placers in the 10,000 Beasts conference are all from our 10,000 Beasts tower. As for you, I can give you the sixth place. Thinking of this, Bai Feng also showed a proud smile on his face. In the eastern part of Nanzan Haizu, Lin Mang is definitely the strongest beast trainer of the younger generation. If he can teach Xiao Xian a lesson at the 10,000 Beasts conference, Xiao Xian will definitely be disgraced and embarrassed. He had known Lin Mang for a long time. Although the two could not be said to be brothers who shared life and death, they still had some friendship. Behead, a trace of suspicion flashed across Lin Mang's face. "I wonder if Sect Master Lin can target a guy named Xiao Xian," Bai Feng said with a sinister look on his face. "This guy is really hateful. He even boasts that he can get the first place in the 10,000 Beasts conference." "Then don't worry," Lin Mang said directly. "Although I don't dare to expect to get first place in the longevity competition, I still want to get second place." After saying these words, the smile on Bai Feng's face suddenly solidified. Bai Feng asked cautiously, "I wonder, Master Lin, can you do something convenient?" "Say it." Lin Mang didn't feel embarrassed at all. Lin Mang's eyes were cold and stern. Although he was annoyed in his heart, on the surface, Bai Feng did not dare to say anything. He could only say, "Master Lin, in that case, I have one more thing to ask for your help. The 10,000 Beasts Conference, this is the most important conference in our 10,000 Beasts Tower." Lin Mang didn't care. "Only now?" "No. Just give him sixth place? Is Mr. Bai Feng a little too cautious?" "Oh. Since this guy doesn't even pay attention to my 10,000 Beast Tower, then don't blame me for being rude to him. Who is this?" This Lin Mang didn't even give him any face. Who knows, he came today with a gift. When the time comes, let's see how shameless this guy still has it to brag in front of Bai Ling. Lin Mang became interested and asked directly, if this is true, Bian Valley is really arrogant. However, after he finished speaking, his expression suddenly changed. Isn't it Xiaoxian of the Yuling sect you are talking about? Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1157. Yes. This Xiaoxian is indeed from the Yuling section. Hearing Lin Mang's question, Baifeng and others showed some suspicion on their faces. Then Baifeng nodded directly and said, "What? Does young Master Lin know Xiaoxian? It's out of the question to know each other. It's just that I've heard some legends about him. It is said that Xiaoxian killed 2 strong men in the half-step dragon god realm of the Spirit Snake Alliance, Shi Qing Xiao, one after another. He is extremely powerful." Lin Mang scratched his hair and said, "Could such a person also participate in the conference of 10,000 beasts?" Baifeng was a little embarrassed. He also didn't expect that Lin Mang would know these things. He just said, "Master Lin has misunderstood. This Xiaoxian is definitely not as powerful as you think. For Shi Qing's death, Xiaoxian relied on the fish spirit formation and the mysterious monster. As for Snake Ao, we at Bian Valley helped kill him. It can be said that the death of these 2 people has no direct relationship with Xiaoxian. So, you don't have to worry about Xiaoxian's strength at all. Is it?" Regarding Baifeng's explanation, Lin Mang looked suspicious. If this is true, isn't Xiaoxian a waste? A waste? Is it still worthy for Mr. Baifeng to come to my 10,000 beasts tower in person? Speaking of which, Baifeng was also a little helpless. He originally thought that Lin Mang had the blood of a monster and was a reckless person who could take advantage of him by giving him any benefits. Who knows if this guy is rough or not? It seems that if he doesn't say something useful, this guy really won't believe it. Thinking of this, Baifeng simply said directly, "In this case, I won't hide it anymore. This Xiaoxian is my love rival." Say it. Not only Lin Mang, but also some of the Bian Valley disciples behind Baifeng had somewhat strange faces. Lin Mang looked at Baifeng with even more contempt in his eyes. A love rival? Baifeng came all the way to 10,000 Beasts Tower, just for a love rival? Yes, I'm ashamed to say that I have always had a crush on our sect's junior sister Bailing, but Xiaoxian actually wanted to steal her love with a knife, which really makes me angry. Baifeng simply said directly, "If Master Lin has the means, can you help me kill the Xiaoxian directly?" "I see. However, Xiaoxian is a disciple of the Yuling section. We, the 10,000 Beast Tower, have no enmity with the Yuling section. Killing comfort is a bit too much." Lin Mang shook his head. "However, since he has come to my 10,000 Beasts conference, it is still okay for him to suffer a disadvantage. Mr. Bai, don't worry, I will not let him have an easy time at the 10,000 Beasts conference." After hearing this, Baifeng smiled again on his face. He had laid the groundwork just now, and what he wanted was Lin Mang's words. He knew that it would be a trivial matter to embarrass Xiaoxian. If Xiaoxian could suffer some losses at the 10,000 Beasts conference, Baifeng would be better in front of the old man Bai Yan in the future. Say something bad about Xiaoxian. Suddenly, Xiaoxian's reputation in Bian Valley will definitely get worse and worse. By that time, he, Baifeng, will naturally become the leader of the younger generation in Bian Valley. In the future, if he can still show his strength at the youth conference. The so-called beauty loves heroes. Isn't Bai Ling the one in his pocket? The scene of the conference of 10,000 beasts. Xiaoxian and Bai Ling also walked in after paying a certain amount of Dao stones. The venue for the 10,000 Beasts conference was arranged in a valley. On the mountainside on both sides, there were densely packed spectators watching the competition, most of whom were cultivators. The several hundred meters of the Colosseum are paved with hard bluestone. There is still some old dark cyan blood remaining on the bluestone. Apparently many monsters died on it before. Accompanied by shouts from the audience, Lin Mang appeared in the center of the Colosseum riding a big tiger with two colorful heads, looking at everyone with a haughty expression. As soon as he appeared on the stage, he quickly aroused admiration and cheers from a group of spectators. Two-headed colorful tiger. This is a monster beast that can reach the 8th level when it reaches adulthood. Moreover, this two-headed colorful tiger still has a trace of ancient tiger blood in its body, and ordinary people have no way to surrender. Only those who truly have the blood of a powerful demonic beast can possibly make it succumb. This is Lin Mang, the young sect leader of the 10,000 Beast Tower. He is at the peak of the Blue God realm. He only reached this realm by relying on the outer sex cultivation methods. His strength should not be underestimated, Bai Ling said. It can be said that the average Blue God realm is absolutely not his match. That's really amazing, Xiao Xian nodded. What are your chances of winning if you face him? Bai Ling asked deliberately after seeing Xiao Xian's indifference. If we were in an environment densely populated with monsters such as mountains, forests, and lakes, my chance of winning might be only 60%, but if we were in the city, I would be 70% sure, Xiao Xian said casually. Are you exaggerating? Hearing this, Bai Ling couldn't believe his ears. Did you not hear what I said clearly just now? I told you that Lin Mang relied on the power of the outer sect to raise his realm to the peak of the Kangshen realm. Did you hear that? So what? Even if his body is strong, can his soul be so strong? Xiao Xian smiled. External practitioners. It's not like he hasn't seen it before. Speaking of which, wasn't Long Tai, the great elder of the Yuling sect at that time, also an outer sect cultivator of this level? If there really was a fight, Xiao Xian was 80% sure of winning. However, since Lin Mang was still a beast tamer, Xiao Xian was a little more conservative and said that he was 70% sure of winning. But this is already a shocking thing for Bai Ling. Incredible. How can there be such arrogant people in this world? I really don't know how high the sky is. How can a mere 6-star of the Blue God realm dare to say that he is 70% sure of defeating young sect master Lin Mang? Xiao Xian didn't deliberately avoid anyone when he spoke just now. So some people heard it too. Not far away, several young master-like people in luxurious clothes looked at Xiao Xian with sarcastic smiles on their faces. Bai Ling, I heard that your master's injury has recovered. Congratulations, said a fair-skinned man who looked like a young master. More snakes, Mr. Master, care. However, I still hope that there will be less concern like this in the future. My master will also be very happy. Bai Ling sneered. What? Does Miss Bai Ling still hold grudges about what happened at that time? When your master and my master fought, wasn't there only one move missing? Shao smiled and said, besides, our Snake AO protector has already died in your White Flame Valley. Don't you plan to give up? Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1158. I'm afraid it's not that we at Bian Valley are unwilling to give up. But your Spirit Snake Alliance is too aggressive, right? Since my master was injured, your Spirit Snake Alliance has killed many neutral merchants near our White Flame Valley, right? Bai Ling asked with an unkind expression, is this also our Bian Valley's fault? For such questions, Shi Yu, on the other hand, looked calm, a neutral businessman? Since he is neutral, why did Miss Bai Ling say that we, the Spirit Snake Alliance, killed him? Isn't this a bit of a frame-up? False accusation, you. Bai Ling's face was full of anger. Okay. Everyone is here to attend my 10,000 Beasts Tower conference, so it's better not to quarrel over these trivial matters. It's just a few neutral businessmen. If they die, they will die. Why is it like this? At this time, an old man with black hair and a strong stride came out and said to everyone, "I hope all of you talents, for the sake of me, Lin Tao, don't worry about it anymore, okay? I've met Mr. Lin. I've met Mr. Lin." Seeing this old man appear, Bai Ling, Shao and other young masters also had a flash of surprise on their faces, and they quickly handed over their hands. Xiao Xian looked at the old man with the same interest. He found that the old man seemed to have a strong aura of monsters, and he was obviously someone who often lived with monsters. If his prediction was correct, this old man should be the owner of 10,000 Beasts Tower. Today, since all of you young heroes can come to my 10,000 Beasts Tower to participate in the 10,000 Beasts Conference, it can be considered as giving me the 10,000 Beasts Tower's face. Lin Tao glanced at everyone and continued to smile, "I don't care how you fight outside, but as long as you are guests and friends of my 10,000 Beasts Tower, please stay on the ground of my 10,000 Beasts Tower. Do not fight. Do you understand?" Although he said this politely. However, basically everyone can tell that there is still a hint of threat in it. Don't fight on the ground of 10,000 Beasts Tower. Isn't this also a warning? If you don't fight, you are a guest and friend in the 10,000 Beasts Tower. If you fight, aren't you an enemy? Thinking of this, some of the weaker sect disciples broke into cold sweat. In terms of strength, the 10,000 Beast Tower cannot compare with the established Eastern sects such as Yuling Sect, White Flame Valley and Spirit Snake Alliance. However, if this sect can survive under the eyes of these three major sects, it naturally has its own advantages. Anyone who looks down on the 10,000 Beast Tower and the owner of the 1,000 Beast Tower, Lin Tao, will probably pay a heavy price. What I said just now can be said to be a reminder or a warning. Everyone, the beast battle has begun. I won't disturb you all anymore. Lin Tao was still polite, as if the person who threatened him just now was not him at all. For a while. Although he left, the remaining young men still had a bit of fear on their faces. It wasn't until deafening cheers erupted again in the Colosseum that the atmosphere gradually eased. How could he not know what Bai Feng was thinking in his heart? At this moment, was he deliberately saying such words just to laugh at him? He roughly knew that even ordinary monsters had a ferocious nature that was difficult to tame, unless they encountered monsters that were older and nobler than their bloodline. On the other side, Bai Feng noticed Xiao Xian's expression, with a bit of contempt on his face, and deliberately asked, "Brother Xiao Xian, what do you mean when you shake your head and sigh? Could it be that you don't like the 10,000 Beasts Tower, a cultivated monster? Are your expectations too high?" Hearing this, Xiao Xian also roughly understood that the purpose of 10,000 Beasts Tower to hold this 10,000 Beasts conference was not just for the conference itself, but to make money by selling monster beasts. Lin Mang walked out and smiled at everyone in the stands. If it wasn't for the suppression of the ancient bloodline, how could the 10,000 Beast Tower make these ferocious monsters surrender voluntarily? As the young owner of the 10,000 Beasts building, I, Lin Mang, would like to express my gratitude to everyone. Today, I, the 10,000 Beasts building, have prepared hundreds of tamed monsters. You can choose and buy them at will to fight beasts or protect them. I hope you can play with them. Happy. Just like before, Xiao Lu was able to rely on the power of blood to kill Shi Qing, who only had a trace of the blood of the ancient demon snake, in an instant. How about it? Xiao Xian turned his head and saw Bai Feng looking at him with a narrow look on his face. This also made Xiao Xian a little disappointed. But now it seems that this is not the case at all. This 10,000 Beast Tower is actually just a beast-taming sect that only knows how to make money, and it is nothing. Everyone who can participate in the 10,000 Beasts conference of my 10,000 Beasts Tower is giving our 10,000 Beasts Tower face. Master Xiao Xian, since you are here, why don't you also participate in the beast fight? On the beast fighting stage, two beast trainers appeared holding two fierce 4th-level monsters. Thinking of this, Xiao Xian just shook his head slightly and said no more. He originally thought that the 10,000 beast tower could stand erect in the eastern part of Nanzan Haizu. This instead aroused his curiosity. When Baifeng saw that Xiao Xian had stopped speaking, he continued with a smile, "There are many benefits in this beast fighting conference. If you can win millions of Dao stones, maybe it can help you reach the peak of the Blue God realm. Is not it? Master Xiao Xian, you don't need to be so polite. I heard that you are also going to participate in the youth conference. With your current strength of 6 stars in the Blue God realm, isn't it a bit insufficient?" Baifeng continued to mock. "One is a flaming tiger with wings." These two monsters were extremely respectful and humble in front of their trainers. Without the trainer's orders, they would only dare to lie on the ground with all 4 limbs, not even daring to raise their heads. He. Xiao Xian saw it. Is there any secret method? When he was on the ancient continent, he had a good impression of some demon beast powers and demon beast sects who were chivalrous and courageous. Moreover, Xiao Xian believed that Baifeng's more important purpose besides ridicule was to make him look embarrassed and embarrassed. Simply, he was unwilling to pay any attention to this Baifeng. 4th-level monsters cannot be tamed by ordinary people. Thank you, no need. Xiao Xian didn't care. He should be considered somewhat chivalrous. Judging from their auras, both the one-horned leopard and the fiery tiger have reached the 4th level. This level is already equivalent to the Blue God realm of human cultivators, and can be considered a leader-level existence in an ordinary monster group. This couldn't help but arouse Xiao Xian's curiosity. But Xiao Xian saw it. One is a one-horned leopard with a horn. But now, Xiao Xian did not see any ancient blood in these two beast trainers. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1159. Baifeng's words were obviously intentional. But the final effect was still very obvious. After saying this, it was obvious that many people were focusing on Xiao Xian. Everyone is obviously curious as to why a 6-star cultivator in the Kangshen realm can participate in the youth conference. You know, the youth conference is a competition that only the best young disciples in the entire Nanzan Haizu can participate in. 6 stars in the Kangshen realm. To put it bluntly, he is not even qualified to accompany him on a run. Thinking of this, some people also cast unkind and contemptuous looks at Xiao Xian, obviously treating him as someone who overestimates his abilities. Interesting. It seems, Baifeng, you have a strong opinion of me. Xiao Xian became interested. For such a long time, almost every time he saw Baifeng, this guy had a mocking look on his face, with the purpose of trying to embarrass him. Before, Xiao Xian thought that he would not participate in these messy things. That's all. Who knew, this guy would really get worse and worse, as if Xiao Xian was really afraid of him. Baifeng, you. Bai Ling couldn't stand it anymore. Junior sister, this is a bet between us men. If Mr. Xiao Xian doesn't dare to participate, then that's it. After all, I can't force him on this kind of thing, right? Before Bai Ling could say anything, Baifeng just interrupted. Is it a bet? How do you want to bet? I see the odds in the Colosseum seem to be 1 to 10, right? Xiao Xian also sneered. At that time, he had practiced some methods of taming monster beasts on the ancient continent. Although it is a bit difficult to tame the monsters from ancient times. But if it were to target these ordinary monsters, it would be a piece of cake. For him, it couldn't be easier to control these monsters. Even if he wants the side of the monster to win, that side will definitely win. This is also where his confidence lies. But now, facing Baifeng, he also deliberately showed a hesitant look. Baifeng, You are a disciple of Bian Valley. With my relationship with Sect Master Bai, if you lose, I'm afraid it will be bad in the future. Let's meet. You want me to lose? Ha ha ha, are you a little awake? Do you really think I will lose? There was a bit of contempt on Bai Feng's face, and he said directly, who do you think you are? I, Bai Feng, have been hanging out in the Colosseum for so many years. Do you think that all these things have gone by in vain? If you have the ability, come with me. Just a gamble, I promise not to use the Dao Stone resources of Bian Valley. Having said this, Xiao Xian was relieved. Since Bai Feng said that he would not use Bian Valley's resources, that meant that the bet between them was just a personal act. This is naturally a good thing for Xiao Xian. After thinking about this, Xiao Xian also said deliberately, in that case, I'm relieved. Tell me, what do you want to bet on? Bet 1 million Dao stones. How about 2 monsters in the casino, who will win and who will lose? Bai Feng's face showed excitement, and, in order to take care of you, a newbie, I can let you choose first. As he spoke, he pointed at the one-horned leopard and the blazing tiger, who were testing each other. These 2 monsters are both at the 4th level. Judging from the level, their combat power should be between equals. It seems that it is not that simple to choose. But it's worth mentioning. The one-horned leopard is slightly smaller and faster, while the flaming tiger is slightly larger and more powerful. During the test attack, the one-horned leopard made several attempts to attack, and its sharp claws left several marks on the flaming tiger. Blood stains. Bai Feng almost laughed out loud. He took it for granted that Xiao Xian was just a beast-fighting novice, and he would foolishly choose the flame tiger, which looked bigger. Good. Xiao Xian took out a Taoist seal from a trading company. If I'm not mistaken, the duel in the Colosseum is not over yet? Are you so sure that the one-horned leopard can win? This is also the favorite payment method of some rich men. After the battle, the blazing tiger couldn't even touch the body of the one-horned leopard. Under such circumstances, no matter how powerful it was, could it still turn the world upside down? As long as the attack cannot fall on the one-horned leopard, the flame tiger's attack will only be a waste of its own strength. Good. What's the rush? It seems that this flaming tiger can't last much longer. I'm afraid that it won't take long for the one-horned leopard to devour the flaming tiger himself, Bai Feng said proudly. Brother Xiao Xian, this time 1 million Dao stones, I won't be polite. Xiao Xian, you. Bai Ling couldn't help but remind him. With its flexible body, the one-horned leopard was barely attacked by the flame tiger. Then 1 million Dao stones. I think the flame tiger is bigger. I bet, the flame tiger wins. I choose the one-horned leopard. Although she doesn't often fight beasts, it can be roughly seen that the one-horned leopard clearly has the advantage in the scene. After hearing Xiao Xian's choice. Seeing this scene, many people bought the one-horned leopard to win. Seeing the one-horned leopard's long horn pierce one of the flaming tiger's paws, the flaming tiger roared in pain, and at the same time thick blood flowed out, making the aura of the flaming tiger wilt. But the flame tiger also caused a lot of damage, with a heavy flow of blood, and its actions were not as quick as at the beginning. Today I want to see how your blazing tiger can make a comeback. Although these traces of blood did not damage the muscles or bones. Obviously, the flame tiger is at a disadvantage. But so what? I saw Xiao Xian choose the one-horned leopard. What you need to know is that although the flame tiger is superior in size and strength to the one-horned leopard. Let's wait and see who wins and who loses. This is also where Bai Feng is proud. Normally, Xiao Xian would not use this method of payment, but now, with Bai Feng by his side, he would choose this method. Bai Feng reacted quickly and took out 1 million Dao stones and placed them on the table as well, as if he was afraid that Xiao Xian would regret it. Xiao Xian smiled. On the contrary, the trainer who controlled the one-horned leopard was very proud. "You damn duck has a tough mouth." Even Bai Ling on the side couldn't help but frown slightly. The trainer who controlled the flame tiger was very anxious, but the heavy flame tiger was powerless when facing such an opponent. His attacks sent gravel flying everywhere on the ground, but he was unable to cause harm to the one-horned leopard. Hearing this, Bai Feng also turned pale with anger. "With this stone mark, you can get 1,000,000 stones from any trading house without verifying your identity. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors." Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1160. What's wrong? Don't you believe it? I feel that this flaming tiger has rough skin and thick flesh, so it's not like he has no chance of winning. Xiao Xian smiled deliberately and said, "Besides, hasn't it failed yet? Are you so sure that the flame tiger will fail?" Hear this. Bai Feng's face was suddenly full of pride. At this time, he was extremely sure that Xiao Xian was indeed a beast-fighting novice who knew nothing. For monsters without ancient bloodline, when the blood in their bodies is lost to a certain extent, their combat effectiveness will be greatly reduced. Now, the battle between the blazing tiger and the one-horned leopard is in progress. The flame tiger has been injured and bleeding heavily, and its current combat effectiveness is probably less than half of what it was at the beginning. You know, the flame tiger in its heyday was no match for the one-horned leopard. Now, the flame tiger is so seriously injured, is it possible that he can make a comeback? This is absolutely impossible. That is to say, in Bai Feng's view, Xiao Xian's 1,000,000 Dao stones are already in his pocket, the only difference is when to take them. Interesting. Really interesting. 1,000,000 Tao stones, even for you, Mr. Xiao Xian, it should be a big sum, right? I don't know if you would feel bad if it fell into my hands." Bai Feng said proudly. But at this moment, Xiao Xian ignored Bai Feng at all, and just walked to the side of the Colosseum. A spell slowly condensed in his hand and quietly penetrated into the body of the flaming tiger. In a place where no one notices. There was suddenly a hint of clarity in the eyes of the fiery tiger, and the strength in his body gradually recovered. Bloodline strengthening technique. With this thing, we can forcibly raise the level of the flame tiger by 1 level. Now, it shouldn't be a problem to deal with the one-horned leopard, right? Xiao Xian smiled. Since unlocking the divine soul, the Taoist arts he is good at have also become much more numerous, and he can use some powers that are difficult for ordinary people to understand. Even some secret techniques brought back from Tianxian continent and primordial continent. Xiao Xian can also master it easily. This bloodline enhancement technique was not considered a high-level Taoist technique. At that time, he had only accidentally learned it from Master Tai. It can improve the level of a monster in a short period of time. Moreover, the level of improvement is also reflected in the caster. The stronger the soul power of the caster, the higher the level of the monster will be. With Xiao Xian's divine soul, he could even turn this flaming tiger into a 6th grade or even 7th grade monster within a short period of time. It's just that this is a bit too showy. Xiao Xian did not do this. He has always thought that methods like the bloodline enhancement technique were useless, and it was only today that he used them for the first time. Ho ho ho. Roar. With Xiao Xian's bloodline enhancement surgery, the situation of fighting beasts on the field also quietly changed. Although the one-horned leopard, which was constantly attacking, was still very fast, it soon found that there was no way to take advantage of the flame tiger. The flame tiger also relied on its strength to start counter-attacking against the one-horned leopard. The one-horned leopard circled the flame tiger several times. Finally, seeing an opportunity, he flew up and bit the flame tiger's neck. The movements are quick and sharp. If this bite is successful, the blazing tiger will no longer have fighting power. Outside the Colosseum, Some spectators who had defeated the unicorn leopard began to celebrate excitedly, as if they had already seen the unicorn leopard win. But now, Xiao Xian's mouth showed a small smile. He could tell just now that the reason why the blazing tiger let the one-horned leopard attack was because he had specially set up a trap to deliberately lure the opponent into taking the bait. Now, the winner is probably about to be decided. Roar! Sure enough, facing the one-horned leopard's attack, the blazing tiger chose to wait for the trouble. When the one-horned leopard approached, its body jumped back at an astonishing speed, and then a claw fell on the one-horned leopard's head. Is this good luck, or maybe just good luck? Ha ha ha. Originally, she thought that Xiao Xian, who had no experience in fighting beasts, would probably suffer a big loss when facing an old fox like Bai Feng. In the White Flame Valley, Bai Feng is not considered a wealthy cultivator. He has worked hard to save the 1 million Dao stones. The purpose is to use these million Dao stones to buy himself a suitable one. Divine weapons, or used to break through the little golden god realm. Xiao Xian, tell the truth. Have you participated in beast fighting before, and more than once? How can your judgment be so accurate? Bai Feng finally understood this kind of thing. In an instant, the blazing tiger rushed over and started biting the unicorn. Amazing! The flaming tiger's claws directly smashed the skull of the one-horned leopard. Before the one-horned leopard could even react, its body swayed and fell to the ground. Xiao Xian was also very happy in his heart. But for Bai Feng, he held his head in his hands and looked at the body of the unicorn leopard in the Colosseum with dull eyes, his face full of disbelief. When he saw the fiery tiger winning as expected, Xiao Xian had no other expression on his face. In his opinion, this was a normal thing. He even won in front of everyone. Bai Ling couldn't help but ask. Today, not only did he get 1 million Dao stones in vain, but he also gave Bai Feng, who looked down on him, a hard slap in the face. Bai Feng felt aggrieved in his heart. Moreover, he still lost to Xiao Xian, whom he hated the most. 1 million Dao stone lost immediately. He just felt as if his whole body had fallen into an ice cellar, and he was even a little speechless. Xiao Xian sighed. Xiao Xian could actually win in this way? At the Colosseum. Not to mention how happy this is for him. Under everyone's gaze, his face was burning with pain, as if someone had slapped him several times. 1 second is heaven, the other is hell. Then thank you so much, senior brother Bai Feng. I will be disrespectful to reject these 1 million Dao stones. This was simply unacceptable to him. Bai Ling looked surprised. Who knew that they all lost today? This scene left the audience outside the Colosseum completely stunned, followed by another roar like a mountain roar and a tsunami. Some people sigh when they lose a bet, some are excited when they win a bet, and some are anxious to participate in the next bet. Under great power, the blazing tiger wins. Who knows? She looked at Xiao Xian in disbelief, her eyes full of surprise. Xiao Xian smiled slightly and picked up the 1 million stone chamber of commerce seal on the table in front of everyone.